Newsnight.
Thank you. David Brosman from BBC Newsnight. Can I ask, what is the process by which the central state bureaucracy will give up its power and devolve it to local communities? The process that Ronald Reagan came up with was starving the beast of cash, as he put it. Alan Milburn, a Labour minister who tried it, came to the conclusion that only 25% job cuts in central bureaucracy would do the job. How do you see that process working?
I don't see it like that. I mean, this is... I don't see it like that at all. The point is, this is about having a government that believes in social action, that believes in enabling society to play a greater role. If you talk to anyone, for instance, who's set up an academy school, they will tell you about the appalling bureaucracy and rules and regulations that they have to go through to get that school established. Now, if you have a government that believes in letting go, that believes in trusting people, that actually says to the academy school provider, come in, set up a great school, we'll help you do it, we'll clear the obstacles out of your way. If you have a government that doesn't look down on the charitable and social enterprise sector, that doesn't think of them as the third sector, but actually says, we're going to enable you to run great welfare programs and set you free to do that and pay you by results. It's all about the mentality of the people in this team who all share this vision in this manifesto about enabling that to happen. And it's not some idea of cut-price welfare or sort of Victorian philanthropy. It's a thoroughly modern way of providing great public services and setting people free to do that. Michael, do you want to add on schools? You've got some specific ideas for how you clear the path.
Yes, thank you very much, David. The critical thing is that we need to ensure that there are barriers which currently exist, which prevent new schools being created, which are removed. At the moment, under Ed Balls, those people, philanthropists, social enterprises, educational providers who want to play a bigger role in improving state education are in despair because they lack the freedom over the curriculum, over the ability to pay good teachers more, over the ability to convert buildings or to get the IT systems that they want, because Ed insists that the only way to run a school is his way. Well, we know that that's wrong. Before Ed was Education Secretary, under Ruth Kelly, with Andrew Adonis, under Tony Blair, a greater degree of freedom was given to those individuals who wanted to run schools a different way. And we know that schools that were set up under that model, the first generation of academy schools, have achieved amazing results. And if you visit a school like Mossbawn Community Academy, which was set up with the vision that it should be the head teacher and the local community, not local or central bureaucracy in charge, if you visit that school, you can see what can be achieved. A school that was one of the worst in the country because it was run by the central state. A school that parents were to do everything to avoid. A school where the best academic results were in Turkish. A subject which wasn't even on the curriculum has been transformed into one of the best state schools in the country, with more than 80% of children from a working class area getting 5 good GCSEs. Why? Because the state got out of the way, the community and a great school leader were making a difference. And we know that in other parts of the world, in Sweden, in America, in Canada, when that has happened, yes, the state has played a role by making sure there's funding and funding for the poorest. But those who truly transform a child's education, the parents who care, the teachers who love their subjects, the head teachers who want to create the right ethos, they have done amazing things. And that is why so many of them are so desperate for a change of government, so they can have a chance to make a difference in their own community.
Thank you, Michael. Gary Gibbon, Channel 4 News.
Can I ask, where's the evidence that people want to be prized away from the telly or the garden to do all this stuff that you want them to do? And also, what you are saying, you were answering Nick there, and you say it in terms in the manifesto, things will get better. We've just had the worst economic crisis. Cuts in discretionary spending could be up to 20%. And you are really telling people their public services will improve.
Let me take the first half of the question first. I mean, I think this is always going to be the sort of approach of, I suppose it's quite a cynical approach. Is there really an appetite for taking a greater role in society, a greater role in government? And I profoundly believe there is, and I think the evidence is all around us. If you look at the new schools network that has been set up, offering people the chance to set up new schools. It's inundated with offers. There are teams of people waiting for a Conservative government because they want to come into education and provide really great state schools. If you look at the social enterprises and the charities and what they want to do in welfare, I spent some of last week at Spear in Hammersmith with Sean Bailey, an organisation that would love to do more in terms of running some of the job centres and providing better opportunities for people to get off welfare. I've spent 4.5 years going around different social enterprises and charities right across the country, and I don't think I've found one that hasn't said to me, I want to do more. Please trust me with more. Give me more government contracts to fulfil. Treat me like a proper partner. Treat me as part of the big society and we can do great things. I think there's a huge appetite. Look at the appetite in terms of volunteering, in terms of what individuals want to do in their community, and I think it is absolutely vast. Look at the response to our National Citizen Service proposal. You know, some people, when I started going on about this 5 years ago, thought that I'd gone vaguely loopy, and well, of course people don't want to do a sort of youth equivalent of a young people's national service. This is one of the most popular ideas that anyone has produced in this entire election. I've been talking about it for 5 years, but it's finally beginning to take off. So I think there is a vast, untapped well of social enterprise and effort out there. It just needs a government that trusts people to set it free. I think it is as simple as that. Will there be difficult decisions over public spending? Yes. Will some programmes, will we have to make difficult and tough decisions? Of course. Are there some things that government does now, like ID cards, that we should stop altogether? Yes. But should we go into this just thinking this is going to be a miserable period of retrenchment? No. Because actually, if you do trust other people to come in and help provide good services, I think there are many areas where you can see real improvements. So there's a choice, if you like. You can have a miserable big government having to cut back its big government and not having any exciting ideas for how you unleash enterprise, or you can have the modern Conservative Party saying, we understand government's role, we back government's role, but the future should be about a big society, and we can help try and make the country better without simply spending more money. That's the choice at the election, and it's a choice I think we're grabbing with both hands. Joey. Sorry, I'll come to you.
Thank you. Joey Jones from Sky News. Mr Cameron, you've heard the Labour attack on you. They say you're the same old Tory. On your policies, they're the same old Tory policies. You know equally why they do that. It's because there remains a deep-seated scepticism, perhaps suspicion about your party and what it represents. Would you agree that that is still, for all the effort that you've put into trying to change the party, the biggest obstacle that you face ahead of May the 6th?
Well, I think there is clearly Labour have got nothing positive to say. They're going to spend this entire election trying to frighten people, not just frightening young mothers about Sure Start, which we support, not just frightening older people about benefits like winter fuel payments that we will keep, but also frightening cancer patients. You know, they are going to be trying to frighten everybody. That's what a government does when it's got nothing left to give, nothing left to offer, and it's profoundly depressing. Conservative Party that spent the last 4.5 years on quite a journey back to the centre ground of politics, championing things like the environment and the health service, with a totally different set of candidates that will come in and bring huge change to Westminster and the expenses system, as I said yesterday. And Labour can say all they like about that, but I just don't think it will get anywhere. And I think what the country is crying out for, and I feel this on the streets as you go around, people are not yet that engaged in this election. A lot of people are very switched off from this election, but they are longing to hear something positive, something concrete, something specific, something that will actually make a difference to their lives. And that's what this document is all about. It is unremittingly positive and optimistic and upbeat about what we can all achieve if we come together as a country. And I think it's doing something really important, because I think the politicians have been treating the public like mugs for about 40 years, pretending that actually we, the politicians, have all the answers. Just give us some power, we'll pass another Queen's speech, we'll pass a few more laws, we'll issue some regulations, we'll spend a bit more money, and it will all get better. And it's a lie. It doesn't work like that. You only really change things if you bring people with you and if they play their part. Does anyone think we're going to crack crime by one more criminal justice bill or one more police officer funded? We're only going to do it when the country comes together, when shopkeepers stop selling alcohol to kids, when we bring up our children properly, when we unleash social enterprises and charities to improve our communities. So it's a very optimistic, hopeful, forward-looking message that I don't think Labour have got a chance of matching.